Return to Via Dolorosa. Meditation for Lent. Chapter 5. No Better Sacrifice. John 10:11-18. The verb sacrifice means to surrender or give up something for the sake of something else. It is derived from the adjective sacred. So a sacrifice, it is an offering consecrated to God lovingly, not lightly. What kind of sacrifice did Jesus make on the cross? Did he obtain material or physical benefits in return? Who was the sacrifice for? Why did Jesus offer a sacrifice at the cross of his own life? Be acquainted with the shepherd. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. Jesus is not just a shepherd, but a good shepherd. Not just a good shepherd, he is the good shepherd, the only divine, dutiful, and dependable shepherd for our souls. In his discourse, Jesus freely used the adjective good to portray its superior, surpassing, and stirring quality, nature, and benefit, including good fruit, Matthew 3:10, good works, Matthew 5:16, the good ground, Matthew 13:23, the good seed, Matthew 13:37, a good tree, Luke 6:43, and a good heart, Luke 8:15. But only the good shepherd comes with article the, and never a. Good can also mean morally honorable, noble, and admirable, but in the comparative sense, it not only means outstanding, but outlasting and overcoming. The Greek language has no better or best other than good. Good is a quality for excellent and eminent, with no equal or exaggeration. A shepherd is not defined by the art or skill he owns, but the animals or sheep he herds. The good shepherd places his life for the sheep. All versions except for KJV use lays down, in Greek tithemi, instead of KJV's give. It means to sacrifice or place at risk, surrender or place his life, substitute or take the place. The good shepherd is contrasted with the hired hand or hireling. The noun hired, misthodos, is from the word hire, misthos, for payment, compensation, reward, wages. The hireling is differentiated by three verbs: see, abandons or leaves, and runs away or flees. And the wolf does two things: attacks and scatters. See is the wolf, leaves is the sheep, and flees is from the predator, prey, and place. Leave is depart, but flee is disappear. The first is to be out of danger, and the second is to be out of sight. The wolf, on the other hand, attacks or catch and scatters. The verb catch is translated as take by force, Matthew 11:12. Spoil, Matthew 12:29. Pluck, John 10:28. And pull, Jude 23. It means to snatch and seize. The second verb, scattered, scorpizo, or disperse, 2 Corinthians 9:9, is derived from an insect, noun scorpios, or scorpion. So the wolf not just disperses, but destroys, devours, and decimates the flock. The further indictment on the hireling is that he does not care for the sheep, but for the salary in verse 13. Care means interest, involvement, and investment. The hireling has no relationship with the sheep, ownership of the flock, or proprietorship in the animals. Be added to the saved. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd. The phrase I know, ginosko, occurs merely 8 times in the Bible, out of which half is in the Gospels. And 3 of those 4 times in the Gospels are in John 10, including verse 14, 15, and 17. In verse 14, I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and am know of mine. 15, as the Father knows me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Verse 27, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. The verb know occurs 223 times in the New Testament, out of which 56 times are in John, which means more than 1 in 4 of its occurrences are in the Gospels of John. All its 8 occurrences of I know are in the present tense, as an existing, energetic, and engaging relationship, not an external, ebbing, or ending relationship. It is a direct and dynamic relationship, not a dull or digressing relationship, with no preposition about or of in between, such as I know the sheep, I know the Father, and I know them. Not I know about the sheep, I know of the Father, and I know concerning them. The last line, am known of them, implies a reciprocating, reliant, and receptive relationship. The relationship of the shepherd and the sheep is an immediate, involved, and invested relationship, and not an indirect, impersonal, and indifferent relationship. It is one of awareness, affection, and assurance. The Father's devotion to the delight in the Son. The other sheep referred to Samaritans, God fears, converts to Jewish religion, Gentile lost sheep, black sheep, and bad sheep, no race, rank, or reputation. Fold referred to believing in one Father, being of one flock, and belonging to one family. Lead is the pastoral role. It means path, provision, and peace. Be assured of the safeguarding. The reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life, only to take it up again. Not one takes it for me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I receive from my Father. The motivation of the Good Shepherd is love for the sheep. Love that is unconditional, undeserving, and unending to sheep that is unheeding, unsettled, and unknowing. The love of the Father, however, is love that is unequaled, unending, and unselfish, because it is shared to the world and salvation to the world, the righteous for the unrighteous, the sacred for the selfish, and the divine for the depraved. Jesus' means to achieve his purpose was in the resurrection. It was a sacrifice that turned and transformed grief to glory, violence to vindication, ruin to reversal, death to deliverance, and hate to honor. Finally, Jesus' death was victorious, vicarious, and voluntary, unforced, unapproached, and unembellished. The shepherd died a willing death, not a wrongful death readily and not recklessly, intentionally and not irresponsibly. There is no other mediator, brainchild, not brokered or blindsided. Approach and authority, administrator, not asked or afterthought. Conclusion. Jesus' death on the cross was a sacred, perfect, and loving, and victorious sacrifice. Do you know our great and glorious Shepherd? In him you will find goodness, gentleness, and guidance. He is our Creator, our Commander, and companion in life, who will never leave us or lose us, no matter if we stray, struggle, or stumble. Do you recognize Christ as the shepherd of your life? Will you receive him as the Savior and Sovereign of your life? Reflection and meditation. May the Lord help us not to stumble anymore, that we may be his sheep and listen to the shepherd and his guidance. God is our shepherd. He leads us onto the right path. He directs us to green grass and water. We can enter into his rest. We have to listen to the voice of the Lord and be with him. We gain his love and protection. The Lord loves his sheep, and we are not willing to be the lost sheep. The Lord is our master. He walks in the front, guides us, leads our lives, and prepares everything for us. God is willing to do the same thing in our lives every day. He has prepared everything, but we must follow him closely and believe in him, unafraid in all things, because the Lord will lead us to victory. Authored by Victor Yap, Doris Mock.